Welcome to the Compassion Project. I'm Jane Smith, and I am excited because I'm talking with Jessica Lynn today. And Jessica's from Pennsylvania. You live in, what is the town called? Or city that you live in?
I live in New Stanton by Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. And Jessica and I met a couple years ago at, we were at a conference, and actually we met on the way home from the conference on the bus, and her and her sister, we just talked, and we ended up staying connected. And yeah, it's funny with the distance, but we've just been a part of each other's lives for a couple of years now. So I thank you for coming live. There's a lot of moms out there that are struggling now. And Jessica is a mom of 4, 3 children of your own, and you're now fostering a baby, right? 18-month-old.
Yeah.
So you're busy. Yeah. And Jessica is a former kindergarten teacher.
He's 3 months old.
What was that? Oh, I think we might have lost internet. Oh, lost internet for a bit there. What did you say?
There you are.
I know the internet connection is not good. I don't know why.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit, but you're back.
Oh, well, keep going. So you were a kindergarten teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've been homeschooling your kids before all this, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I just want to, just say that Jessica has such a big heart. Like, you're the kindest soul. She has the biggest heart. And you do. Like, you're amazing. And I just admire you and the way you are as a person. So maybe I just want to ask you what your life was like before social distancing and when this all happened so fast. Just what your life was like before. Typical.
Yeah. So before, so I was a teacher for 16 years, and 5 years ago this summer, I quit to stay at home with my kids, and I was home for a year, 2 years, and then I started homeschooling my daughter. And this is the first year that we decided to keep all 3 of my kids at home. So this is our first year of homeschooling all of the kids, but our homeschooling is different from now because we're very social homeschoolers. We're very active in different homeschool groups. I'm one of 4 other moms that run a homeschool theater troupe. So I'm on the leadership team for that. And that's something that's been a huge blessing for us. We meet every Tuesday, and we have kids from 6th through high school in our group. And that my kids look forward to that every week, and I look forward to just seeing the moms. Everybody in our group is wonderful, and we're all like a big family. So before this, that's what we've been doing for the past couple years. So that's been really hard, not seeing our people.
Yeah. How many times a week would you meet with them?
Because we can't get together now. And the kids have had, go ahead.
How many times a week would you meet with that group?
Meet every Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
What? How many times?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
We're having trouble with the internet, hey?
Yeah, we had a hard time last week too. But our theater this semester was supposed to run from February until May. Our show was supposed to be May 1st and 2nd at a local community college. And the colleges are closed, schools are closed. So we postponed our show till August. So we're hoping that we'll be able to do it in August. And the kids are, just bummed. I'm bummed because we were in the midst of making costumes. They learned their whole Act 1. They were halfway through learning Act 2. And they've just had to take a big break. So, and then, we would go to the museum. We would go to the library for the kids are taking etiquette classes at the library. And it was just a way for them to be learning and to be seeing their friends, Yeah. And so that's all been taken away. And I just think that it's hard for everybody because we're not used to having to stay at home all the time. And it's nice a little bit because we were on the go so much, but it's too much being at home now,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And then you have a new foster that little boy, right? So that adds a whole nother
Yes,
busyness.
Yes, it is. He's such a sweet, sweet little baby, happy all the time. He's a really good sleeper, and my kids love him. We love him. So he's really just been a joy. It hasn't been like, oh, but I don't know. He's a fun little addition, I guess. And we're just trying to keep the kids safe and him safe. My husband's the only one that comes and goes because he's still working.
Okay.
But the rest of us are just staying home. He changes and gets a shower as soon as he gets home. So hopefully, we all stay healthy.
And is everything shut down in your city? Like, is it pretty much shut down? Like the parks, everything?
Last week, I stopped watching the news. I started scrolling through Facebook very fast because it was really getting to me. And I had a panic attack one day and I thought, I am not living like this. I'm not doing this.
Good for you.
So I have not been watching the news. And today, my hairdresser posted something on Facebook, Debbie, because she went to get her summer tires put on and get her winter tires taken off. And she was pulled over with hundreds of cars into a parking lot and like detained for hours.
Oh my God.
And so she posted on Facebook, there was a helicopter flying around. She thought it was not the news. Like she thinks it was a police helicopter. And they had hundreds of cars pulled over in this industrial park. And I guess they were going one by one to see where you were going and what you were doing. And if you weren't going to work, getting food or medical care, then they're fining you $200.
Really?
So
That's
we
cool.
have a shelter in place. And like I said, I haven't been watching the news, so I didn't know, but they're really enforcing it now. And if you are caught driving, and so I called a friend and I was like, what is going on? And she said that it was on the news that there was a young girl who was taking a drive last week, just a drive, and she was fined $200 because you're not to be out without
and the thing is,
medical or
they have to do it, right? Because people aren't listening, so they have to do it. But it's a weird feeling for us to not have that freedom. That's what it is. We don't have freedom to just go and do whatever we want. So what do you find is your biggest struggle, fear right now when you're going through this with your family and everything?
I do worry. I really feel maybe I'm like in the minority. I don't know what I'm in. I'm not so worried about the virus because I've read a lot and I read that there's people that are finding ways to get through it and people are living, like they're making it through okay. So I'm not really so much worried about that. I'm worried about I am worried that I will get sick. And if I'm in the hospital, what's going to happen to my kids? Like my husband's working, I do worry about that a little bit. I worry about the kids getting sick, because then I would want to be there with them. And I don't know if they would let me be there with them. I would hope so. But I know that adults are not allowed to be with adults. Now, my grandma is 97 and she's in the hospital now with not COVID-19, but she can't have visitors. So she's alone in the hospital. And I feel bad for people that are alone. And then, of course, my underlying fear is that I will lose somebody that I love. And I can't have that happen again. So that would be even though I'm like, I'm not really worried about it. Like, we'll just take some vitamin C and A and D and, like Z-Pack and all this stuff, like we'll be okay. There is like that underlying fear that, well, what if, what if
it's the loss of the family, right? And I know you did have a loss. I don't know if you're going to share that, but it's a couple of years ago now. Was it 2 years?
This summer it will be 2 years. Yep.
Yeah, you lost your brother, right?
Yep. Suddenly, tragically, in a fire, and I don't ever want to do that again. And that makes me anxious and worried. I don't want to lose anybody else that I love.
Yeah. So it's like that.
One was too many.
Yeah, exactly. And that, to go through that again. So it's that trying to control your thoughts so you don't like get into that like a month or 2 months or 3 months ahead. Just deal with now, like right now in your home with your kids.
Right.
We all have to get more in that present moment. That's because the fear of losing someone. And I think kids are pretty resilient with this virus. It's the them spreading it to a grandparents, right? Where that's that's where it gets scary. So, yeah, and I think that's the fear for all of us, to lose someone we love. So, yeah, you're amazing. So, what was my other question? Was how are you coping? What is your biggest way to cope? Like having your kids. Do you have anything that works that you could share with people there's a lot of moms out there that are now homeschooling. And they're like, they're lost. They're like, hey, it's really hard for them. So I don't know if there's anything, websites or anything you can.
I found a few little, they're not memes, but they're just little things. I'll try to find them again because I've shared them on my Facebook page. The biggest advice that I could give parents who are new to homeschooling, and I've been telling my friends this who are like freaking out, like, I'm afraid they're never going to know how to divide because I can't do this math and this is so hard. I'm going to ruin them. I'm like, you're not going to ruin them. Like my biggest thing that I would tell parents who find themselves homeschooling, who have never done that, is just relax. Like your kids may or may not have assignments from their school right now to do. And whether or not they do, whatever, put that aside. Do it if they have to do it. And if they don't have any assignments to do, don't worry about it because your kids are learning from you all the time. If you guys bake a cake together and they're measuring the ingredients and they're figuring out the time and the temperature and all that stuff, they're learning. If you take them outside and you plant a garden and you look up how far apart you should plant the vegetables and which ones are good to plant next to each other, you're learning, like everything can be counted as a life lesson, So I've had my kids a couple times because I get crazy too. Like I'm with my kids all the time, but we're not stuck together in this little space all the time. And it rains a lot here in Pittsburgh. So we have had some sunny, beautiful days recently, but from January to March, it rained and was cloudy every day. So we don't get to go outside. It's not warm and sunny and beautiful. So I had them plan dinner, like one of them had to come up with the main food and then the other one had to make the vegetable and the other set the table and decide what was going to be for dessert. And I've been letting them bake desserts and do things like that just because my biggest thing is I want them to have good memories to look back on through this, which is sometimes overwhelming for me because I'm holding it together and I want to cry sometimes, but I don't want them to be worried. So
yeah,
I've just been trying to let them do things that are just going to be building good memories. Like my daughter, I don't know if you can see this, how I can do this. Which way do I have to go? This way. Nope, this way. Let her paint the window. Oh, it's sunny for once. I look like a liar.
Oh, you painted the window with hearts or something?
Yeah. Anyways, she painted the window with crosses and like a stained glass window. Whatever. Yeah. Like it'll wash off.
Yeah.
So just just little fun things that will hopefully be what is at the forefront of their memory of this.
Yeah. I think that's really good
crazy
advice
time.
for moms. I think that's really good advice for moms to just be able to just chill a bit in the way of like you say, if they're cooking, it can be like a cooking class, do that for dinner, or measuring.
Mm-hmm.
That's all, it all ties in. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And they're gonna be okay. Like there's so much downtime at school. You know, it's okay, it's a bathroom break, it's lunchtime, everybody waits in line for half an hour till everyone has their food and then they eat. Like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a 7-hour school day at home. We never have a 7-hour school day, but if they get through all their subjects in 3 hours or less, that's a win. I mean, and the little one, he can be done in an hour. So your kids aren't going to be messed up. They're not going to get stupid, you know. And another thing too is we've been doing a lot of playing games. You know, there's different card games you can play. Chess is like a strategy game, checkers. So they're still thinking, but they're playing, and they don't really even realize that their brain is growing because it's fun.
Awesome. So. Thank you so much, Jessica, for joining me today and chatting. You're amazing. And I really want to honor your brother. What's his name? Your brother that passed away. Matthew, I just want to tell you how sorry I am about Matthew. And I want to make sure that we'd mentioned his name. Oh, that's your picture of Matthew. Let's see.
Oh, if you can see him. My computer is like, I have to move it the opposite way of that, I think.
There he is. Aw, I remember that. And I remember how hard it was for you. He
always smiling and happy. And we've talked about, like, what would Matt say? You know, what would Matt say about this? And we just, you know.
Well, you have an angel. He's your angel looking down on you, being there for you.
We do. So thank you for having me, Jane. I think you're awesome and wonderful too. And I'm so happy that I met you and you were so nice. Like, you're just like, oh, yeah, well, you know, we'll just be friends forever. And I'm like, okay, please.
Okay. Well, we'll sign off, and thank you so much. And if you can think of any tips or websites that'll help moms at home, then we can pop them in the comments. And thank you. You're adorable.
Okay. Thanks, Jane.
Okay. Talk later. Bye.